Hey everyone, how you doing? Wade here from NFL in London and DraftKings. Joining me, David Whitney, Ryan Cull, and Will Gavin. It's our panel for today. It's week 2 in the NFL. Oh, what a week, guys. How do our teams do?
Terrible, to be honest with you. This is what I'm going to say about the Bills. All right, 7 points.
You didn't even start off, Ryan. Just jumps into the Bills.
As it says under my name, less optimistic Bills. 7 points in today's NFL is a disgrace. Okay, and that was a really bad showing by the Bills. I think this is where I think a lot of people, where they say preseason means nothing, but if you don't play any of your starters in all of preseason, this is what you get: 7 points. And I was really disgusted with the Bills. I think they're going to come back better this week, because to be honest with you, they're at home and the home crowd. Bills played better, but to be honest with you, that was not a good start to the season. To be honest with you,
all that money,
my team,
Tyrod Taylor,
all that, but they have an out after this year. If he has a bad year, they can get out.
Luckily, we have videos from last week where you extolled their virtues.
I know.
I'm talking to all these guys now. When we talk about some of the top stories from week 1 in the NFL, one of the top stories, if I can throw it out there, RG3, everyone. What?
The Browns just have the worst luck of any franchise. They play against the guy that they passed over to pick up all those picks and then have him go down in that fashion.
Oh, shoulder injury, 8 weeks.
Just horrible stuff. They're back
give way to a better quarterback.
Again. Yeah,
a more accurate quarterback.
Just
family doesn't have the goal.
Yeah, exactly. It's not a huge step up.
Yeah, we're going to see a drastic decrease in Browns fans at the Hippodrome, I think, this week, because no one's coming to watch Josh.
We always do as the season
No
goes
one's coming to watch Josh McCown this week, and I don't know. It's really upsetting because, the thing about Cleveland is they were just hoping RG3 could prove something, that he has a little bit left in the tank, that he can be that next quarterback. And I don't think it was a terrible decision to go away from Carson Wentz. I think Carson Wentz will struggle this week, and he's not going to be the same quarterback he was last week. And I think the Browns still had about 14 draft picks. They're a young team. They're going to get better. This is going to be a bad year. I think everyone expected it, but it does suck to lose your quarterback and now be back to Josh McCown. You know, Johnny Manziel is only one phone call away, so...
I have to defend Browns fans, though. I don't think they were at the Hippodrome last week with any hope that they were making
No, but I think
they're
you had
coming,
the
come rain or shine, because they only know rain.
Yeah. But if you have the number 2 pick in the draft, you got to feel, and who got pretty much redshirted last year, didn't even get dressed. He was basically in his street clothes all year. So he hadn't really played competitive football in over a year, so even barely practiced. So I actually think, I feel bad for them, because if I was like a Bills and they brought in like a RG3, I would so be excited for him to regain what he had, to be that rookie of the year. And then to have it go down back to Josh McCown, who's technically, a better quarterback right now, but it just doesn't inspire any hope.
Talking about the first pick in the draft, it is good that we already know in week 1.
Don't discount the Rams.
The Rams are going to have to give it to somebody else.
Let's just talk about Jeff Fisher.
Let's go to the Rams. Let's go to the Rams. Yeah.
Jeff Fisher is a guy who, in the RG3 trade, got all of those picks, then went out against Washington last year and took all the players that he picked from that, made them his captains, and basically trolled Washington, saying, "Look at what we got from that trade."
Yeah.
And then he's done a similar thing this year. Gone and got Jared Goff, and Jared Goff is his 3rd-string quarterback behind a guy who can't score against a completely talent-starved 49ers side. The Rams are dreadful. They don't want to go 7-9. They're going to go 0-16.
The reason
they could probably play the Farnham Knights against the LA Rams.
The reason I think Jared Goff is the number 3 quarterback is because Jeff Fisher wants another year. And the reason why, it's just like, if you say, oh, well, he's not ready, but he will be ready next year, you're trying to doing that to give yourself the next year so you don't get fired.
But here's the thing, is Fisher going to be fishing? Is he going to be off on fishing duty?
Being on Hard Knocks, which was the most boring season of Hard Knocks I've ever watched, to be honest with you, was the Rams. And it just shows that this boring season of Hard Knocks brought a boring football team, because there was nobody exciting when you watched that show. They have no receivers. If Tavon Austin, who's my size, is your number 1 receiver, you're in a lot of trouble, because he has no help. And Case Keenum's not going to be able to throw it if he's only got Tavon Austin to throw to.
They're at real risk, though, however, of Jared Goff not being ready this year, but Jeff Fisher they've got a horrible slate of games after this. They go 0-4, 0-5. Jeff Fisher led Snead panic, throw him in too early when he's not ready, because they're under pressure to. He gets destroyed. They could ruin a young man's career for the sake of save their own job.
He's already run a young man's career by signing him to the Rams. Now, here's the other thing is, we're talking about Jeff Fisher, who loves his fishing and probably will be fishing by week 4. Is he going to think, if he goes 0-4, but do you think he'll even make it to London?
Well, he might make it to London and then not leave London. The curse could continue.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that could very
So
much
you like
be
the
the way
tourist
of
stuff,
it.
do you, Jeff? Let's go take that bus around.
Have you been seeing the Tower of London? There's a lovely little room we have for you in the Tower of London.
So let's go into another big story. Garoppolo. I know everyone assumed he was going to be maybe not so good. You know, they're going to lose week 1, and they come out and win week 1, 9-point underdogs, and they end up winning. I mean, we talked about him a bit earlier. Is Garoppolo too early to tell?
It's too early to tell, to be honest with you. And then when you have Bill Belichick as your coach and you have this organization that just puts you in the right position to succeed, of course it sounds like it's going to be amazing. But the thing is with Garoppolo, is he going to be around long enough to take over that team? Because Tom Brady's not retiring next year.
No.
Tom Brady's not going to retire the year after. So Garoppolo's going to be a free agent, and this is his audition tape.
Yeah, sure, of course.
Right? And why would he stay with New England? I wouldn't stay with New England. He's going to do like Brock Osweiler. He's going to take the money
when
next
the
year.
Buffalo Bills need a
He's going to
quarterback.
take, maybe. I'll take. Well, we did that with Bledsoe once, and it didn't really work out for us.
But what's ridiculous, he's not even a free agent. He's still got another year on the contract after this. So what's going to happen is he's got 3 much easier home games now. They're probably going to go 4-0, and then the Pats will get to trade him away for a first-round pick.
Yep.
Now, if Sam Bradford's worth a first-round pick,
Yeah,
they're going to
yeah.
say this guy is. And,
Sam
and
Bradford's
just because
worth-
nothing bad ever happens to the Patriots.
Yeah, no.
So Pats
Yeah.
fans get
So
to
even when they
continue
cheat, they
to-
get slapped on the
Teflon team.
wrist.
Yeah, just ridiculous.
What about any other stories from week 1 strike you, Will? Anything that was sort of big?
Yeah, I thought that particularly looking at the defenses in the league is that bad teams, this is from a fantasy perspective, start your players against the New Orleans Saints. Start your players against the Detroit Lions.
Sure.
Start your players against the Indianapolis Colts. You know, these teams with bad secondaries are going to continue to give up points, continue to be in shootouts, and those were the games that went exactly as we predicted them. There were a few things that were unpredictable, but those games, they were all nailed on. They were going to be shootouts, and it's exactly how they went.
Yeah, you can pretty much, if you're going to play New Orleans, as you say, you can pretty much guarantee in that game. It's like you look at both teams, it's like, yeah, there'll be 70 points in this game.
Yeah.
But that's
Ryan-
good to have Drew Bledsoe on your team, to be honest. And that's where it kind of goes with me. And to me, it's like it's all about the great quarterbacks. They just keep producing. Like Drew Brees is endless, over 400 yards, 3 touchdowns. He looked better than he's ever looked. All the best quarterbacks just produce, and it always seems like it's those same 5 every single year. You know, Roethlisberger, Luck, all those at Rodgers, like they just.
Yeah.
Eli Manning.
Eli Manning even have a great year. Like that's the thing, to have that great quarterback who consistently can put up the points. It's just so important in the NFL. And when you watch, from my perspective, watching Tyrod Taylor struggle, and you just sit there like, why can't we have that guy? And it is a quarterback-driven league. It's showed it, and the receivers are just having a field day. The record book should be shattered if it wasn't for Jerry Rice. But the record books.
But doesn't it show so much how much it comes down to coaching? Because these same teams are getting first draft picks over and over again. And how have the Rams not been able to put a team together with the amount of first round picks that they've had? And it comes down to the coaching. Who knows? Who knows? I mean, apart from somebody like Andrew Luck, who is obviously absolutely touched by the gods, who knows what would have happened to...
It depends where you go. Like,
Yeah.
if Tom Brady went to another team, he could have just been washed out of the league in 3
Absolutely,
100%,
especially as where he was
It
drafted.
really depends
if
on
he
the
was drafted by the Bills, we'd never know who he was.
Yeah, exactly. So it's just, that's a guarantee. That's a yeah, he'd be modeling Buffalo jeans is the only thing he'd be
You're
doing.
working
right
in a
now.
Wild Wing in North Tonawanda.
Yeah. Selling used cars.
So those are our sort of top stories of the week. Obviously, week 2, going to be lots of new top stories. Make sure you come visit us. Check us out at NFLinLondon.com. Go to our Facebook page, NFL in London. Go to DraftKings. Play against us this weekend. DraftKings.co.uk/Hippo. Great tournament this weekend, including 2 tickets to Indianapolis versus Jacksonville at Wembley. Welcome to big time.